Hello, my name is David Christie. I'm the president and CEO of Orford Mining. Orford's been around for about 3 years, started in October 2017. We are a gold exploration company with a nickel optionality that not many nickel companies can offer you. This presentation will give you a good overview of Orford Mining. I will be making some forward-looking statements. I'll let you read those at your leisure. A few quick things I want you to take away from this presentation. First of all, this 2021 will be one of our biggest expenditure years ever. $5.3 million will be spent on the grounds that we control. All our properties are 100% owned by Orford. In the spring of 2019, Alamos Gold came in with over 22.2% interest in our company. They continue to be very supportive, and we have a number of other supportive shareholders as well. Qiqavik Project is our key gold project, over 390 square kilometers of land in the Cape Smith Belt. Big through-going structures across the 40-kilometer strike length of the property. We'll talk more about that. We're going to spend about $3 million on that project this year. We acquired 3 new projects in the Joutel region of the Abitibi. This is an area I spent a lot of time on early in my career working with Agnico Eagle. It was the area where they had their first gold production at the Eagle and Telbel mines. We sit right on the Casa Berardi break. This is a very exciting project to be involved in. And we also have the West Raglan Project, 814 square kilometers of land. Wyloo Metals will spend about $1.7 million to earn into this project this year. They can spend up to $25 million to earn up to 80% in the project. They must also complete a feasibility study and pay Orford $1.5 million to get there. We continue to operate that project. This is our management team and board of directors. I'm the president and CEO. I've been around in the mining industry for about 35 years. I was formerly an equity analyst with TD and Scotia. Prior to that, I was a geologist working with a number of groups, including Agnico Eagle. And after that, I worked at Dundee and then Eagle Hill Exploration as their CEO, helped formulate a four-way merger to create what is today's Cisco Mining. I've been on a few boards. Alger St. Jean is our chief geoscientist. He's been in the industry for over 25 years. Principally in the nickel side of things with Dumont Nickel and Falconbridge. Michelle Sorrentino is our VP of Exploration. She's the driving force between the success we've had at Qiqavik, and she's been in the industry for almost 15 years. And there's our board. John McCluskey is our new add to the board. He is the president and CEO of Alamos Gold, of course, our biggest shareholder at over 22%, and his career speaks for itself. This is our current cap structure and share price performance over the past year. We've had a huge year, moving from a very low of 5 cents at the beginning of the year to up to 24 cents and about 15 cents right now. We have almost an $18 million market cap. We continue to think we're undervalued. We have cash of $4.6 million as of the end of the year, so we're quite strong as far as our balance sheet goes. As I said, this will be a huge expenditure year. We're really excited to get all this money in the ground and to see what comes of it. So there'll be a lot of news that comes from it. This gives you an outlay of where our projects are. We're all in Quebec. The Chateal Project is the furthest south there. This one here, I'm marking with the red. And then up here is our 2 other projects in the Cape Smith Belt of the far northern part of Quebec. We also own 2 royalties we got when we bought a private company. They were just a couple assets they had in there. We bought the private company for cash it had on hand. So looking at Qiqavik, it sits in the northern part of the Cape Smith Belt, very underexplored. Basically, the Cape Smith Belt is being explored for nickel only. So we're quite excited to get in there and explore for gold. And we found what we believe is the brand new camp scale potential gold project in the Cape Smith Belt that no one has ever explored for gold. It has a lot of similarities to the Flin Flon Snow Lake Manitoba Belt and the Ashanti Belt in West Africa, Tsunami Belt in Western Australia, Parama Belt in Brazil. Very strong tectonic and age setting to similarities to those belts. We've discovered a number of showings across the belt, and you can see here the relationship between our West Raglan project and our Qiqavik project. This line here marks the change from more nickel-bearing rocks to more gold-bearing rocks to the north. So, and over here to the east is the Raglan and Nunavik nickel, world-class nickel producers, lowest on the cash curve at Raglan. So that's about 90 kilometers to the road network. This is our property, the Qiqavik Project. As you can see here, from end to end, we have a number of gold showings across the project, up as high as 650 grams per ton. So this is a very exciting project. You don't see this very often. We have done some drilling, about 6,000 meters of drilling in total, which is not very much when you look at 40 kilometers of land. And that's all the drilling's ever been done here, including 2 Falconbridge drill holes that were drilled here in 1996, looking for nickel. They hit a bit of gold, 3 grams over 10.5 meters. That's the original reason we went to the area, to have a look. We got excited about what we saw there and the alteration in the structures. That's why we staked all this land. So in 2019, the last year we were allowed to be up there, because 2020, the government of Quebec didn't allow exploration in this part of Quebec. We hit some interesting things. All our 6 drill holes hit gold, some very thick gold intersections and in the Interlake area, and gold down here along the IPIP Trend. Just going back, the one area that we started in 2017 is the Esperanza area. It's a almost 5-kilometer long trend of copper gold mineralization. We drilled the edges of the best anomalies. We did geophysics last year, and we found that the drilling we have done was just on the edges of what are these best conductors. We'd love to get back in there and do some more drilling into the best parts of these conductors. And this mineralization was of 7 meters of up to about 6.5 grams copper gold combined. So IPIP Trend, this is the key target for 2021. It's almost 10-kilometer long structural zone, ranges from 100 to 250 meters in thickness. Lots of cross structures that cut through it, and lots of geology to the south of it that seems quite interesting as well, including this iron formation. We've got these boulder trains, 65 grams, 648 grams, 342 grams, 79 grams, 59 grams. These are big, huge assays in boulder trains, as well as all these till samples here. You see all these very high numbers, 301, 319. These are gold grains we got in till samples. This points to gold mineralization to the south here. Ice moved from the south to the north, scraping off the top of what we believe are deposits that are sitting down in here somewhere. We did do some drilling here, drilled 2 holes. Both those holes hit a bit of gold, but you can see here the till samples to the north of those holes really had no great results. So this area here, where there was gold in the holes, was not the best target. We hadn't got all these other till samples back, but when we did that drilling, so we're very excited to get in here and do this drilling on the structures. This is just the same map showing the coarse grains that we found in those same holes. So again, you see the numbers getting much stronger as you get closer to the structural zone here, the IPIP shear zone. So this summer, all these green triangles you see here will get sampled for till. They'll help us close off this anomaly. This is that Bergeron fault I was telling you about that separates the nickel-bearing rocks from the gold-bearing rocks. So we know that the gold is somewhere in here. So we're very excited to get back in there and fill in the sampling. Following that, we'll do geology, and we're also going to fly the areas with new geophysics, and then we'll drill the best targets. The other area we staked in the past year was in the Joutel area. So this is the Abitibi, one of the most prolific metal belts in the world. For gold, there's 15 million ounces in Val d'Or, 13 million ounces in Larder Lake, 24 million in Kirkland Lake, 71 million in Timmins. So this is a big area for gold. The Eagle Telbel mine, the Agnico Eagle started it, was right here. We have a property right on the same structural break, and the Casa Berardi mine, which sits to the west, is on that break as well. So we staked a property there, and a few properties to the south of that follow the same geology to the south. Here you can see our projects. There's that Mcclure East project that sits on that Cadillac break. And then our Chateau South and Chateau Omega, lots of through-going structures. That same geology passes right down through here. The big blue area that we see on the map here is the Agnico Eagle Maple Gold JV. Agnico's agreed to spend $18 million to earn into all of Maple Gold's projects on that property. So one of the reasons we got excited, this is the Mcclure East property. This is an RC drill hole. This is where they drill and they sample the deglacial till. All these projects are covered with overburden. They got 30,000 ppb, that's 30 grams of gold in the till. Never followed up. There's no work to the north of it. Nothing's happened in this area at all since 1986. They closed their mine in Joutel Agnico Eagle in 1993. So it's been a long time since anyone spent much time in this area. This is the Mcclure East, the Chateau South property. And again, there's some interesting things here. So a little bit of gold there and some copper here, and lots of felsic volcanics to be looked at. We did our RC drilling and fluid geophysics over both those two properties. We got some great visuals in some of the bedrock samples that we took. We took overburden samples in all those drill holes. We're awaiting those results as we speak. We're hoping to see some cutoffs in this area where we got this big 30 gram per ton in overburden from that historic hole. So we're waiting on those results as we speak. And Joutel Omega, we're doing compilation work. We're trying to understand all these structures before we go in the area and spend money. But we're quite excited to get in there. There's lots of access to this area, roads, and so we can get in there and do some good geological mapping before we drill and do geophysics. Looking at our nickel project, like I said, we did a deal with Wyloo Metals. They're going to earn up to 80% in the project. The grades we get on our West Raglan project are very similar to the world-class Raglan mine that sits to the east. So we're quite excited to get in there and see if we can duplicate more of those grades. This is the targets here. The Raglan deposit that Strata has is like pearls on a string. The Canadian Royalties Mcclure deposit is much larger but lower grade body. We have both of those targets on our project. This is our project, so 55 kilometers end to end. You can see all the zones we've already discovered across the project. We have over 35 kilometers of mineralization discovered. That's from here at the Beverly all the way over to the frontier. So that's very similar to what they have at Raglan. This just gives you an idea of one of our zones, the frontier zone. It's got a 2,500 meter strike length and a number of bodies that have been drilled off within it. So comparing Raglan on the top map to our project, their main mineralization sits over a 25 kilometer spacing. We have about 28 kilometers from end to end here, and then 55 kilometers of strike from end to end of all their mineralization. We have similar here, 55 kilometers. So we really think we could have a duplication of what they have on that project with some work and exploration. Nothing has happened on this project since 2015. So getting in there and spending $1.7 million this year is a huge feat for us to be able to do. So like I said, Wyloo is spending $1.7 million. The program's going to focus on geophysics and then geology and mapping. We have great relationships with the local communities in the far north, and we continue to employ as many Nunavik Inuit enterprises as possible and employ as many people from those villages as possible. So just summarizing, we have a strong strategic investor support with Alamos Gold. Massive land position, what we think is a brand new emerging gold district, the Qiqavik Project. We believe we have the potential for discovery of multiple million-ounce gold deposits in both Qiqavik and the Joutel region. We have strong financial and technical partner on West Raglan with Wyloo Metals coming in. And we're in a safe, proven jurisdiction for mining in Quebec, very supportive jurisdiction. And with spending on our projects to well over $5 million this year, we're really excited to get back in the field and see what we can find. And all the news we will have in the coming months will be quite exciting.